4 other components. Topic 4, the manual data entry component. The learning objectives for this topic are to understand the manual entry component and how to use it. The manual data entry component can be added from the list of components under the Insert More Content menu when a page is in edit mode. The manual data entry component lets you write back values to a time series tag. It must be connected to a tag that has write permissions enabled in the source database. You won't be able to write back to one where you do not have write permissions. The write permissions are configured at the interface level. The manual data entry component has lots of different forms. In its simplest form, you can just have a single tag and show its timestamp, a spark line of previous values, and the current value and when it was last entered. You can add more rows to the component to make simple data entry forms, and you can also embed it as part of a KPI. So let's have a look at one working. Here we've got a very simple manual data entry component. It's currently in framed mode, and you can put it in seamless mode if you wanted to sit on a page. When we put it in edit mode, we can see here that if we click on the current line, we can expose the properties and the configuration, or we could add new lines. For example, if I click add, I can now set up a whole new tag. The process is much the same for any KPI or trend, where you can search for the tag and then you can say its value type, whether it's number or text, give it a title, you can add the units, then you've got the decimal places and various other options. With the timestamp, you can default it to current time or a custom hour, minute, second within the day. You can also apply validation to give it a maximum and a minimum, and you can configure what's shown, whether you show just the value or just a timestamp or everything and anywhere in between. To use the component, you just enter a value if you're happy with the time, or if you want to configure the time to a custom time, you can use the calendar and select exactly what you want, and then just write a value. Either press enter or click write values. Okay, and it's written there. As with everything in Ingenuity, any value is clickable so that you can bring up a trend of previous data. If you have a KPI and you want to add data entry fields, then this is possible using the manual data entry component. This is the example we looked at earlier in lesson B2. And you can see here I have a gap in the bottom right that I'm going to use. So if I click on configure and I change the type of KPI to component, I now have the option to add a manual data entry component in the KPI itself. And there we are. So we can put that in edit mode and start. Actually, we have to take that one out. There we are, and we can now configure that component. Okay, that's the manual data entry component.